Right. Hello everyone. I'm Ananya Shahani. I'm one of the event coordinators.
And I'm Austin. I'm also one of the event coordinators.
And welcome to our resume workshop. So today we're going to talk about how to craft your perfect resume.
And if you guys can, please scan the QR code. We also sent the link in chat. This is for attendance. Thank you. Let me admit some people from the waiting. Uh, we'll try to get the sign in Google form to work. If not, you could just send me your name and then your email if it still doesn't work. But it should work, the QR code or the link. All right. So in this workshop, we are going to be basically covering 5 things. The first thing is like, what exactly is a resume? The second point would be, why do you need a resume? Like, why is it important to have a resume? And the main portion of this workshop is going to focus on what to include on a resume and what to avoid on a resume. And yeah, later on near the end, we also have some examples of resumes that we were going to show you guys. And yeah, additional resources are also going to be provided at the end. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
All right, so the first question you guys must be asking is, what is a resume? So basically, a resume is a document crafted by you to display your background, experience, skills, and accomplishments to your potential employers. So it's basically like a brag sheet where you can show off all of your amazing accomplishments to others. So for what would be considered a well-written resume, you should be able to talk about all of your work and accomplishments in a concise and easy to read format, and it should be tailored to the job or research or internship or whatever you're applying to. It should be tailored to that. So overall, a resume is to present your best self to the potential employers, whether it be professors, researchers, professionals in the health in the field you're applying to, or like whoever the potential employers are. Also, a resume will help you increase your chances to getting to the next stage, like the interview or something, and then even landing the job after that.
Yeah, so now that you guys know a little bit more about what a resume actually is, you guys are probably asking yourself questions like why you need a resume, why is having a resume so important? Well, resumes are like a very important part of your application because it basically shows like employers why you are the best candidate for the position. And it's like a document essentially where you can concisely convince whatever company, whatever research lab, or like any employer you're trying to apply to, like why they should choose you over other applicants. And also resumes are are usually required for a majority of applications. And yeah, so creating one now will be very helpful now. And it can also be very helpful in the future when you're applying for like positions later on in your career.
All right, so now that you know more about what a resume is and why it is important, we're going to go into the specifics of crafting the perfect resume. So one of the first things you should be putting on your resume is your name and your contact information. So this will potentially serve as a way for your employers to identify and contact you. Your name and email and phone number should always be included near the top of your resume, and it should basically stand out on your resume. If you want, you can also include your address, but it's not necessary. The second one is an objective statement. So an objective statement can also be included on your resume. Although, again, it is not necessary, it is a really good way to tailor your resume for specific employers, as it tells them why you're applying for the position you're applying for. This will make your resume get more personalized and also may increase your chances of getting accepted. The third one would be Another like third necessary aspect you should include in your resume is your education. So information you should include is your school, which is most likely UCLA, your expected graduation year, your degree or major or any of the minors if you have any, your GPA and any relevant course and honors that may be relevant for the position that you are applying to. So what this does is it gives the employers a more detailed understanding of how you are as a student and also would give you the upper hand over other applicants. The fourth one would be the experience section. So the experience section will serve as essentially the meat of your resume, and it will list and describe all of your internships, jobs, volunteering opportunities, and more. So with each experience you list, you should also provide the dates you were actively involved, the position you are working in, and a brief but descriptive summary of what you did within the organization. Later on in this workshop, we will provide a more detailed description of how you should structure this.
Okay, and these next 4 points aren't like necessarily like mandatory or like you don't have to put these on your resume, but it'll be very good to have if you have like any extra space or any of these like 4 things like applies to you and you think it'll be like a good idea to put to like show like employers like you're a very qualified candidate. Yeah, so the first section to include would be the skills section. It's gonna most likely show up near the end of your resume, and it's gonna include both soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills are basically like any like interpersonal skills you have. This could range from like teamwork to like perseverance. You can also include like creativity or something. But yeah, it's like any like personality traits you want to include that will that like basically fits the position you're applying to. Hard skills are basically like computer skills. It could be like software skills, like Excel, PowerPoint, or you could also include any like proficiency in like any foreign languages. Sometimes speaking multiple languages could be helpful for your application. And yeah, you can also include any like computer skills you may have like accumulated throughout your life. So yeah, this skill section, even though it could be like a very small section in your resume, it could tell employees like a lot about yourself and about a lot about your qualifications. This activity sections doesn't really target like your qualification as an applicant, but it can show employers like, oh, you're like fun person to be around and like you're a very unique candidate. This section includes like hobbies and any hobbies you have, any interests you have, and anything you like to do. And yeah, having this section is probably the least necessary, I would say, out of the four. Um, the next section is the awards and honor section. And it can be included if you feel like they will help show companies that you're very qualified. It can range from anywhere from research publications you got in the research lab or like any certifications or licenses you earned. And yeah, you can also include like any academic accomplishments or any awards. So yeah, having this award section is just to highlight any like awards and honors you earned throughout your life. And lastly, if you have any room, a summary section would be a good idea to include at the end of your resume. This section basically highlights any qualifications you value most. And yeah, it could be helpful because some employers who don't have as much time may skim your resume and they could use this section to like reference and see what like experiences you find most memorable and which ones you want to highlight and which one tells your employer most about you. So yeah.
All right, so now we will be showing you some example resumes from your peers. So before we show these resumes, please remember that not all resumes will look the same, and you should make a resume that is unique to you. Also, as a quick reminder, please do not take any pictures or screenshots of the resumes that we will be sharing, and like thank you for your understanding.
Okay, and then give me 1 second to pull up the resume. Okay. So for this first section, or for the first resume, you could see that this resume includes basically everything we mentioned in the PowerPoint. And yeah, just to go a little bit more in depth on what this resume entails, you can see that the context section is very visible. You could see it. And the full name is blurred out for privacy reasons, but you could see that there's a full name. Phone number, email could be included right here, and the general area or your general address. You don't have to include this section, but it could be helpful to your employers. Also, if applicable, if you have one, a LinkedIn could be very handy, and it could like reference your employers to a different site where you could like elaborate more on your experiences. And in this resume, you can see that the education section, which is probably one of the most important sections of your resume, is listed at the top in bold letters. Notice in this resume that UCLA is spelled out. Generally, you don't want to have any acronyms in your resume because some people might not know what a certain acronym means. And yeah, the education section requires basically everything we mentioned: the major, GPA, any academic awards or achievements this person earned. And if applicable, this person also included related courses. So these courses are generally inputted into your resume if you feel like any courses you took over college might be applicable to the position you're applying to. And yeah, going more into like the meat of the resume, the experiences section, you can see how this person organized it very neatly into 3 different sections. So it could show employers different, it groups like the activities they're a part of into 3 different categories, which is a very good thing. So because employers might be looking for different things, and having these 3 different categories can show employers, oh, you're very well-rounded applicant. So yeah, going more into like the bullet points, you could see that the organization is listed right here and its affiliation is listed right here. Also, the position is provided, and bullet points describing the position are also provided. So in this example, you can see that this person wrote, establish partnerships with organizations outside of UCLA, including nonprofit organizations and other medical schools mentorship programs. So you can see that a strong verb was used right here, and what they did followed the verb. And most of the bullet points you're going to be writing want to follow the same format. You want like a strong action verb here, and what you did, what you contributed, and sometimes what effect it had will follow it shortly. And also one key thing is it's very organized. So you can see that the organization and position is listed in one line, and on the same line, the dates that this person was a part of this organization is on the same line. So employers can see like see what organizations they're a part of and when they're a part of it. And yeah, at the bottom of this resume, you can see skills included. This one only includes hard skills, so Python, JavaScript, and includes a lot of languages they speak. So yeah, this is a very good resume to reference, to look at to when you guys are writing your own resumes. And for the next resume, give me 1 second, please. This resume is also from one of your peers. You can see that the contact information is very visible. So the name is written in bold. The the email address and the phone number are given so that it's very like available for employers when they look at the resume. And you can also see that this resume includes an objective statement. Objective statements are really good because it shows them like employers a brief description of who you are. And yeah, this resume basically entails the same thing, except it's condensed into 1 page. Resumes can usually be between 1 to 2 pages. 1 page is usually recommended. And yeah, it has the education section at top with the major, GPA, minors, the expected graduation date. And yeah, it has the same experience section with a strong action verb in front and what they did and what effect it had. It also has the date neatly organized next to the position and the organization they were part of. And this also includes affiliation. So these may be like organizations you're a part that may not have been as memorable as the other ones you listed. And yeah, this one also has skills. So that all resumes are basically gonna have a similar format. So you could reference this if you this format is a little more unique than the other one, but yeah, all those are different format. All resumes are gonna be different. You don't have to copy the same exact one to have a good resume. And then let me. Okay.
All right, so aside from the things we mentioned over the last 10 minutes or so, we wanted to provide you guys with some key takeaways and some tips that can help you when you are crafting your resume. So the first tip and the key takeaway that we want you guys to know is the context section. Again, we're going to reiterate this. This section should stand out from the resume and is usually one of the first things listed on the resume. It should be easily accessible for your employers and all of your contact information should be accurate. However, it should not take up too much space on your resume because you want to keep that space for your experiences. The second takeaway is you want your resume sentences structures should be written in a way where it has the structure, where it starts off with a strong verb and then it lists your role within the organization and then it finishes off with the impact it had. So it should be written, it should also be written in a like short, concise bullet point. For example, you could write something like handled a department of 200 people and increased sales by like 10%. So keywords are also a good way for you to like tailor your resume for a certain position or company. So on the jobs postings, there are usually like a lot of keywords that the companies used for whatever job, for whatever position they're finding someone to fill in. So you should like use those words throughout your resume to target the employers and also help improve your chances of being noticed. Another key takeaway is to keep in mind the format of your resume. So generally, it is recommended that you keep your resume to one page. However, as Austin showed earlier from the sample resumes, there was a resume with 2 pages. So if you feel like there is not enough space to display your qualifications, 2 pages are okay as well. Your resume should follow the 3 C's. So the first C is it should be clean and organized so that it is easy to pinpoint your experiences and your qualifications. So what I mean by that is that your dates should align correctly with the experience and it should be concise and detailed. So that's the second C, concise and detailed. So you do not want to include too much details on certain positions or experiences. So you should kind of balance out your resume that each experience has kind of the same ratio of information. So we recommend that you would keep it to around 3 to 5 strong but concise bullet points. Keep it succinct. So your resume should also be consistent, which is the third C. So consistency is important. Your font size, the general formatting, they should all be consistent for each experience. Another tip that you should take away from this workshop is that you should also spell out abbreviations or acronyms. So instead of writing UCLA, you should write University of California, Los Angeles. So there are many employers and companies that may not know exactly what UCLA is or whatever other abbreviations you use. So things like the company names, majors, and more, and whatever you use should also be spelled out completely. So this last takeaway is also, so the last takeaway is pretty general, but basically your experience should include all the information necessary, like the dates, and it should be written in bullet points. And this is probably one of the most important sections of your resume. So you should put a lot of effort and time into making this section stick out to the employers and tell them why you are the best candidate for this position. Also, we are going to be sharing some additional resources that can give some more information on how to craft your resume if you want to check it out. I'll just be linking them in the Zoom chat right now.
Yeah, to go more in depth on what these resources entail. This first or the second link actually will take you to this website by UCLA, and it basically goes over everything we covered on how to build your resume. And yeah, it basically gives what you need to include, the margin, spacing, font format, and just gives like any like general tips and tricks on what you need. It's like a very concise version of how to build your resume, what to include, and very helpful when if you want to like reference it when you're creating your own resume. It also goes over what a CV is, which is a little different from a resume. So if your employer asks for a CV, you can also reference this website to um, see how to create your CV and how it's different from a resume. And the next link will lead you to this PDF, also by UCLA, on resume. And this PDF I find to be very helpful because this covers basically everything in a very, very detailed format. You can see that in this, on the second page, it goes over how to build a powerful resume. And it shows the resume format, similar to what the other website says. The length, the bullet points, the dates, and yeah, it also shows what content is essential, which is the contact information, the education experiences, which we mentioned previously, and the additional categories. So yeah, if you guys want, you guys could look at this PDF. There's a lot of details on how to build a good resume. One part of this resource that I really find helpful was that it has this like sort of worksheet you could use on how to build your bullet points. So like we mentioned, the bullet points should be structured in a way to make your activities seem very like convincing of your qualifications. And this worksheet basically helps you build these bullet points, and also includes a bunch of action verbs. When you write your bullet points, you want your verbs to sound very strong, very compelling. And yeah, you could utilize this to create bullet points that describe your position, your organization. And yeah, also for the templates for you guys to reference, they're towards the bottom. This basically gives a basic resume template of what you need, or like basically shows you how to structure your resume. You can see that the objection statement is here, the education is there, skills, experience, and yeah. Also, there's things in depth on how to target your resume. So definitely check this out if you are interested in crafting a resume that's targeted towards a specific like position, a specific field. And yeah, back to the slideshow.
All right. Thank you guys for listening and coming to this workshop. We do hope that this is helpful, and we wish you good luck in creating your resume. If you guys have any questions, or if you would like us to assist you in building your resume, please feel free to reach out whenever. And yeah, have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.